was working on something the other day, and noticed somebody had something on there about how much money you make with a 3D printer online, and how do you price your products, that kind of thing. And it was an interesting show the fella had put together, but he had a lot of different mix of different topics in there, so it wasn't just about how to price something, but he was indicating that a lot of us price too low with our 3D printers. And one of the things you got to look at is the wear and tear on the machine. The machine is only going to last so long. You're going to have to replace the machine, or in my case, I actually sort of upgraded from what I was using. And it's a game changer. I had mentioned it before, but there's a whole lot more involved with pricing your product. Let's get into it. So I was watching this fellow this morning, and he was talking about, like I said, different things involving the pricing for 3D printing. And one of the things he pointed out was these things don't last forever, they break. 3D printers break. You just don't set them up and they'll last forever or something. That's not the way. Your value of your 3D printers are going down. They're depreciating. You wear them out and they go downhill and they break, and things happen. Nozzle jams happen, but just a lot of crazy things go wrong. At some point you have to re-level the beds, and then sometimes you find out that something's wrong with the PEI sheet. You need a new one. You have to order parts, order a new extruder. There's all kinds of nasty little things that are going to happen, and you got to troubleshoot it. And the other thing he pointed out, and I thought it was kind of funny, was you have at least one employee. You are an employee. Yeah, you're an employee, so you're on the payroll, okay? So when you do the pricing thing, you need to put all this together. There was another fellow on there, this is a while back, and I wish I could find his channel right now, I just can't, but he had mentioned that his printers were making about $1 an hour. So yeah, I think in some ways that $1 an hour is the most realistic number I've ever heard. Yeah. How to price your products though? You can look at the hourly on the machine, you can look at what you cost, your listing fees, shipping fees, that kind of thing. Also, a lot of times some people will get a spreadsheet going. I hate spreadsheets. And they'll get the filament and figure out how much filament they use to create the product and try to calculate it all into something. And it can get pretty complicated really fast, and you can end up walking away going, I have no idea how much to sell this for. The easiest thing to do, it's kind of like it's really not the right way to do it, but I still think it's a good guideline, is to go online and find a similar product, eBay, Etsy, Mercari, whatever, and just see what it's selling for online. And that might tell you, yeah, this is going to be hard to be competitive with that market. Or you might think, oh man, I'm going to make lots of money if I sell it for that. Depending on how much that product is available and what it's moving for, it can kind of gauge a little bit of control over what you can or cannot ask for that product, depending on how you make it. If you make really fantastic product and it looks way better than theirs, you should be asking more money. You should not be shy about that. And a lot of us do get a little gun shy over that and think, well, I got to be competitive. I better sell it for the same price. And you may find out that, I'm losing money sitting here trying to make this stuff. What am I doing this for? Yeah, so let's get to the bottom of this thing. One of the things you're going to be looking at is over time. You will learn over time what you theoretically need to get your money out of the deal. Yeah, to how much these printers are going to pay, kind of thing, and how much money they are going to make you. And depending on product, some products, of course, will pay better than others too, I found. So some of them, over time, I have dumped certain products and just said, it's just not worth it. I'll show you something here. Yeah, this will print up in like an hour. So we were trying to charge like $10 for these things. It's actually a little wrench, and it unhooks a solar, the MC4 cable. You push it on and it'll unlock the cable so that you can separate them really easily when you're working with solar panels. And a lot of people have found that they're pretty handy. But the $10 an hour sounds great, for the machine to make one of those $10, bang, that sounds great, but you've got to put shipping on there. And shipping is it's a silly thing like this, and by the time you package it, ship it, put the label on and stuff, yeah, you've got about $5 in there. And then of course Etsy will take, if you're selling it on Etsy, they'll take their listing fees and whatever. So by the time you're done, you might have, $1 left for you that was on the machine for an hour. So it was like, you know, it's almost like, yeah, it's sort of like not worth it. My point is that $10 an hour was, or $10 per unit was really not enough. Yeah. You almost had to charge like $15 or $19 because by the time everybody's got their bite out of you, there was very little money left in this thing, you know. And look at how much product is. I mean, the actual filament used obviously is very little. I put a little bit of embossing in here to make it a little fancier, and put a keychain holder or something so they could hook it or keep it somewhere in the shop or near them if they're working on jobs where they're switching out solar panels and stuff. This will make life a lot easier. What you're after is obviously to make something for yourself and the machine. And the other thing that, you know, you got to look at is at some point in the future, you're going to, like, these are new for me, but these will have to be replaced at some point. And because they're not going to last forever. Not that they're, you know, any cubic or anything else. I don't care. I don't even care if they're bamboo labs. At some point, you're going to have to, replace a worn-out machine. It may have a lot of hours on it. Right now, we've got what I like to refer to as the Employee of the Year, and he has been retired now since about almost January. But was the longer LK5 Pro, and we had been using him. Poor guy. We've been running him almost 24 hours, sometimes 7 days a week, producing product. And so that machine initially costs, the longer LK5 Pro, initially when it was purchased, it was somewhere in that range around $400, I believe. It's come down a lot since it was new. The problem overall was that the machine, I'm going to give you some numbers, and it'll actually kind of make you laugh, because I said we should have like a little cake or something and have a celebration because the machine's being retired. The machine has produced over $4,000 in product, and it's wore out. It is wore out. I have had to replace the power switch. I had to jump out the filament runout sensor because it wore out, actually, where it would no longer trip when the filament was going through. It just stayed off, it just kept tripping all the time. So it was like, well, we're just going to take it out of the road. Numbers of nozzles have been changed on it. The spool holder that feeds the machine had tried 3 and 4 different models and styles, and we just kept breaking or wearing out spools or having spool issues. So that had to be changed out, and there was some other repairs that I can't even remember that occurred over the last few years with it. But this past year, our hand over our heart, the LK5 Pro is going to go into retirement. And hopefully somebody will maybe get that off of me at some point in the future, and maybe they can have some more fun with it, because it's still operable. It's just a lot of the parts on it are just simply wore out. It has, I have pushed it. And again, if you think about that $400 investment or whatever, and you think about the fact that it produced over $4,000 worth of product, it's like, that's not bad. That's a pretty good ratio. But like I say, you have to plan that you're going to replace that machine at some point. And I had been shopping around for machines for quite a long time, keeping an eye on the market and the prices to see what I could do. And this was not really necessarily the right purchase, but it was within budget, I guess, for now, that we put these 2 machines in here. And this will upgrade us at the same time. It'll retire the LK5 Pro to, it's done. It's done its work. I can't ask for any more out of that poor guy, but he has done a terrific job. And these ones here, I don't even know if they will last as long as that LK5 Pro, because these are, in my opinion, they're not really, they're okay machines as a hobbyist, but I don't see these as being production machines, not the quality. Unfortunately, there's just some things about them that lack what you really need for a 3D printing farm. It's one of the reasons why so many people like to buy Prusa. Prusa machines are fantastic, and they're sort of, industrial grade compared to a lot of the consumer stuff that's out there. Now, some of the consumer stuff, and again, I'll have to go back to that old name, Bamboo Lab, for example, that has industrial grade, so that stuff those printers will run almost flawlessly for a very, very long time. In fact, I don't even know what the lifespan is going to be on a Bamboo Lab, but it will be, you can imagine, it's going to be high. It'll probably run for years before those things, the parts will fall off and they'll still be printing or something. These ones here, they're probably going to last so long, but they were purchased at a very low price, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, hourly and pricing a product. One of the ways I do it is I look at how long it takes, and then depending on what it is, and then we do that hourly. And if a product takes like 3 hours, we might say, well, times 3, and say that's $3 an hour, that's $9. Well, that's not going to cover everything. We'll add $5 in for shipping, and we'll just keep adding things in as we feel we need them. Plus the operator, the employee, everybody has to have one. The employee has to get paid too. So that part might end up at around $20 or $30 on the market, and or even higher, depending on who you're dealing with, whether it be eBay, Amazon, Etsy. I think there's Mercari, I believe the name of it is. There's a lot of different internet sites. Also, you could put yourself out there on Shopify, put your own website together, and be, selling your products. There's lots of room out there. Okay, all that aside, let's get to the hard number. I've sort of grind this down to a science over the years. And the last couple of years, I've really gotten kind of hardcore with the number. And it's basically, are you ready? Yeah, here it goes. $5 an hour. Yeah, depending on, it basically doesn't really matter what product I'm running. It's about $5 an hour. Same with this one, 5. This one here's a little different, the Cheaty. That one does about $10 an hour, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now I also have a couple of Core XY machines sitting over here off camera, and the same thing with them. They run approximately, actually the two of them are hyperspeed, and they both just about hit $10 an hour. Yeah, that's it. Now, let's just take, for example, this $5 an hour, just so you know where we're at. So say the product takes 3 hours. Remember earlier, I don't know if I said it earlier or not, but I basically, because I'm involved, the drawings are involved, the shipping is involved, whatever, so I double it. So if the product costs, at this point, the three hours, $15, well, now it sells for $30 online. So that just, and you might think, oh, I can do it for 25. You're a fool, okay? You are going to find out. Maybe your wife will get a hold of you and find out what you're doing, and she'll say, you dummy, you're losing money. But that's what it comes out to for myself, and that's where we're at right now. These numbers and the hours and everything have changed from the old days of the CR10, which was making which was $1 an hour. Yeah. Even the longer LK5 Pro, I can pick on it and laugh about it now, but the best it could ever do was probably about $2 an hour, and it was mostly because it's so slow. Makes great product, but it's so slow that to calculate the hourly on it was like, this is just not going to work, because this thing takes so darn long to make a product. And we could say, well, maybe it's making $1 an hour. Let's just leave it at that, because that's about all it was doing. It really couldn't break out of that area. These are super fast compared to that machine, and my two hyperspeed cube core machines, they just knock stuff out incredibly quick. In fact, they can make product the longer would take hours and hours to make or whatever. They can make them in like 20 minutes, the same product. And my big problem, or one of the things that held me back, was I wasn't sure if the high speed was going to affect quality and the finish and everything. And I'm kind of particular about, I'm proud of my product, so when it goes out of here, it's got to look right or be right, and it's got to be quality and look good and all that. And it was like, well, if we run high speed and it starts to look a little shaky or shady or something, or sketchy or something, like, no, this is not going to work. We'll go back to the longer LK5 Pro if we have to, and continue to run, 14 hours to make a print instead of, 3 hours or something. And as it turned out, there was some tweaking involved, but once we got it, I got the right filament and quality and everything was working good. It was like, okay, I'm happy with this. So that might give you some idea for your own products at home, but I would stick with about $5 an hour right now. But consider that you're going to pay ×2 for your product. That's about where you should be at. Yeah. So if the product takes 2 hours on here, it's $10. You'd say sell it online, 20. Just real simple. There's, you know, now if I'm doing a custom product, you can charge a lot per hour on something like that. One of the particular custom products I'm thinking of way back probably received somewhere in the range of around $400 an hour or something for that product. But that was a very specialized situation, and a lot of times you're going to end up in that. If you really sit down and do the calculations and pay for the CAD program, plus the, you know, all the time on the machines and a little bit of prototyping or whatever till you get it right and stuff, you're probably going to end up at that 400 an hour, you know. But those jobs don't come in the door every day, at least not here. But there are some pretty cool jobs that do come in the door. So those are a whole different pay scale, and it's one of the reasons why I've told people sometimes, you know, if you can get outside clients that call in to have stuff made, a lot of times it just pays better, you know, and they're willing to pay for the prototype. And you know, this sort of thing, you know, instead of producing something for eBay or something here that's, like I said, $5 an hour, all of a sudden your machine is making you $100 an hour, but only for, you know, that run. All good. Anyways, hey, we got some cool stuff this, I guess next week coming up. We got some stuff just came in the door, sitting here on the floor. Monday, I guess. Anyway, meantime, I'm going to get out of here, but thank you for checking in on Coffee and Tools, and please like, share, subscribe, ring the notice bell. I'm out of here. Over and out.